things that happened in Buhari's government that has never happened before in Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that has been through tough times right from inception, since the days of the military rule to the outset of a fully democratic government in 1999. Nigeria has witnessed all kinds of presidents, rulers, dictators, as well as leaders. If I may ask, what is the expectation of the citizens of a country for an incoming administration? There are so many rights, but I think that they can all be summarized into one, which is that it should be better than the previous one. However, on a critical look, you will agree that Nigerians have a leader who has always defied their expectations, to the degree that it has always seemed like the previous administration is always better than the present one. Or what do you think? February 2015 saw the election of Muhammadu Buhari as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The whole nation, especially the North, was fully on high hopes that the President Buhari-led administration would usher in the birth of a new Nigeria where there won't be corruption, unemployment, food insecurity, terrorism, and political and ethnic unrest. Nigerians had thought better life was becoming a reality at last. However, on May 29, 2015, the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration was inaugurated, and it was initially promised until Nigerians realized they are scammed. However, the psychological game of Nigerian was played again by Nigerians, and by May 29, 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari was re-elected to at least complete what he started. Today, I bring you 5 out of the most shocking occurrences that will leave you dumbfounded if you were not in Nigeria. One is the devaluation of the naira. Any reasonable administration will not promote or complement policies which will add to the financial burdens of its citizens. The currency of a nation, I think, is the most strongest symbol of a nation's economic strength, and it overrules political relevance. However, in this administration, the citizens' economic status has continued to one due to the fact that the table that was having 3 legs remain naira had been further reduced to 1 leg. Ever since, this has led to unbearable level of inflation, thereby creating a ink in the prices of every known commodity in the country. The poor masses has been receiving end. 2. The superpower with no power. Everyone in Nigeria knows what is going on as regards the president's inadequacy to fully utilize his power as president and grand commander of all the armed forces. As the sovereign authority over the nation, so many people, home and abroad, refer to President Muhammadu Buhari as Baba Go Slow, and this is not good at all, meaning because it is part of the rule of a president to be proactive and pragmatic over the affairs of the nation. It is the expectation of every responsible follower to make sure that he who is leading him is active, proactive, and pragmatic enough to gain his trust. On March 20th this year, Mr. Obiageli Ozekwesili had asked the National Assembly to summon President Muhammadu Buhari as to what action are on ground over the COVID-19 pandemic. She later said that President Muhammadu Buhari should know that leadership is not about personal comfort, but care and responsibility over national matters. This is because we are in a time where leaders of nations in the world are in their most proactive, active, and pragmatic state, and it is only unappealing to have a president who sits in office but not in power. 3. Snake swallowed 36 billion naira cash from JAMB's office. I think everyone knows what is VAT is made up of. A vault is expected to be strong and secured enough that almost nothing can defy or defecate it. The day I heard the news of a snake swallowing JAMB's scratch card, I quickly discarded it, thinking it was a rumor, only to continue hearing the news. And I was more shocked when it was a woman named Philomena was the culprit, who later confessed that it was a maid that connived with someone in the account office to fabricate, to astrostate the spiritual disappearance of the money. What nonsense. Here are words below. I was one of the 4 sales clerks attached to JAMB office in Makurdi. My responsibility was to sell scratch card to candidates and not involved in handling the revenues. It was the responsibility of Joan Asen and my other senior colleagues. I only remit money when I'm done selling the card. Few months ago, there was issue on fraud in Makurdi office. Auditors were sent from Abuja to carefully flip the record books of the office to perhaps ascertain the current state of affairs. The state coordinator, Obilo, was not around when the audit team came, but in the course of the audit, 36 billion naira was discovered to have been missing from the account. An investigation was launched. In the course of the investigation, it was discovered that Joan Asen, who is an accountant staff, and a lady outside JAMB have connived to steal the money. It was a mystery to me too. I have been saving the money in the bank, but I found it difficult to account for it. So I started saving it in a vault in the office. But each time I opened the vault, I will find nothing. I became worried and surprised how the millions of naira could be disappearing from the vault. I began to interrogate everybody in the office, and no one could agree on what might have happened to the money. I continued to press until my housemate confessed that she said that the money disappeared spiritually. She said that a mysterious snake sneaked into the house and swallowed the money in the vault. From this statement, you can see the real truth in figurative expressions. The part that got me worried was that they were only arraigned in court, and what the judge could do was to adjourn the case till today. Or do you think something else was done about it? Now, imagine a white man hearing the news in this country. He will exclaim and say, these people are crazy. You think about it. So think about it and know what people will say. The worst of it just happened this April 9, 2020. How can fire burn only the Account General's office, only to destroy the record of COVID-19 700 million naira federal government funds? Imagine that. Isn't that shocking enough? They are doing the investigation, but we already know the outcome of this investigation. The PHCN brought a high voltage that caused the explosion of the circuit board in the Account General's office at 10 p.m. and the case will die down and we will move on like that. We have always done that before. That is what we have always been doing. Move on without making any move. May God deliver this country from corruption, people, and their various strategies. Fourth, the only president that spent less than 4 months in the country because of medical tourism. President Muhammadu Buhari should be the only president who spent less than 4 months in the country and complete 8 months on medical treatment abroad. He was later condemning those top government officials who went abroad for treatment as using the country's hard-earned revenue on medical tourism. Imagine condemning people for doing what you are actively involved in. I seriously can't understand it. It could have been good if the country was deficient of these facilities to facilitate the treatment. But on the contrary, Nigeria has up to 100 well-trained specialists who themselves are competent. They are so competent in their field. Most of them obtained their training abroad. And to make matter worse, he would still be treated by Nigerian doctor abroad. Imagine that. Where are we really going with this administration? Please, if you know, let's talk about it, because we don't know what to say concerning what this administration is telling us. We don't really know where it's leading us to. The fifth one is the only president who had issue with his real personality. Wow, this is really big one for the country, and was believed by nearly every Nigerian citizen. You know why? Imagine someone who was sick and no one was open enough to keep the neighbors prominent updates on this condition. Now imagine also with me that all of a sudden someone came claiming to be that person. You really think people would believe he is the one? Especially with clear-cut evidence of impersonation. In developed country, the responsible things to do was for the president to step down from office. And if he still wants to be a clean citizen, he needs to find a way of getting himself free from that act, or otherwise face serious consequences. But what do we have in Nigeria? A place where the president addresses an issue that can scatter the country in a video from Poland. Well, the foregoing was not written out of hatred for the president. It is just me showing my disappointment. I'm so disappointed with what is going on in Buhari's administration. It's just to let the president know that the citizens expected more from him than the insult he's giving them. All over the world, Nigerians are the most disadvantaged people due to the fact that they see us as sheep without shepherd. I conclude by reminding the present administration that there is approximately 3 more years to go. So please let them make us happy within these 3 months. So viewers, what is your own take on this news that you just listened to? If you have any comments or any contributions, please don't hesitate to drop them below the comment box. Click on the subscribe button as well as the bell button to receive updates whenever I publish new video. And don't forget, share